Everyone thinks printing more money makes a country richer. It doesn't. It makes everyone poorer. And the reason is so simple, it sounds like a trick. You'd think more money means more wealth, more cash floating around, more stuff people can buy, more prosperity. That's what it should mean, but it does the exact opposite, and governments keep doing it anyway. So what actually happens when a country fires up the money printer? Because this isn't abstract economics. This is why your groceries cost more, why your rent keeps climbing, why your paycheck buys less than it did 5 years ago, even though the number in your bank account looks the same. Let's follow a single new bill and watch what it does. Imagine the central bank just printed a fresh $100 bill, brand new. It didn't exist yesterday, now it does. That bill enters the economy. The government spends it on a construction contract. The contractor gets it, he feels richer. He has $100 he didn't have before. But here's the problem. The stuff in the economy didn't change. The bread, the cars, the houses, the workers, all the actual things people want, same amount as yesterday. Now there's just one more $100 bill chasing the same pile of stuff. So prices start creeping up. Not immediately, not all at once, but sellers realize there's more money floating around. They can charge a little more. And they do. That new bill didn't create wealth. It diluted everyone else's money. Think of it like a pizza party. 8 people, 8 slices. Everyone gets one. Fair. Now someone shows up late and demands a slice, but there's no more pizza, so you cut the 8 slices into smaller pieces. Now there are 9 slices, but each one is smaller. Nobody got more pizza, you just rearranged what was already there. That's inflation. More money, same stuff. Each dollar now buys less pizza. But here's the weird part. If this is so obvious, why do governments keep doing it? Because printing money feels free. You need to fund a war? Print money. Pay for programs? Print money. Bail out banks? Print money. It's easier than raising taxes. People hate taxes. They see it on their paycheck, they get angry, they vote you out. But inflation sneaks in slowly. Prices creep up over months, years. People notice, but they don't connect it to the money printed 2 years ago. They blame corporations or supply chains or whatever's convenient. It's a hidden tax, perfect for politicians who want to spend now and let future governments deal with the mess. Now here's where it gets darker. Inflation doesn't hit everyone equally. It destroys the poor and protects the rich. Rich people own assets, stocks, real estate, art. When inflation hits, those assets rise in value too. Their wealth is protected. Sometimes it even grows. But poor people? They hold cash, savings accounts, maybe a checking account with a few $100. That cash loses value every day. Groceries climb, rent climbs, their paycheck stays flat. Printing money is reverse Robin Hood. It takes from the poor and gives to the wealthy, invisibly, quietly, while politicians give speeches about helping working families. But here's the thing nobody tells you. A little inflation is fine. 2% a year, economists call that healthy. It encourages spending, keeps the economy moving. The problem is when governments can't stop, when they print too much, too fast. That's when you get hyperinflation, and that's when everything collapses. Let's talk about Zimbabwe, early 2000s. The government needed money, so they printed it, mountains of it. Prices doubled, then tripled. Inflation hit 50% per month, then 500%. Then the numbers stopped making sense. At the peak, Zimbabwe's inflation was 79 billion% per month. Billion. A loaf of bread cost 10 million Zimbabwean dollars, then 100 million. Then they stopped using their own currency entirely. People traded in US dollars, anything but their own money. The government printed a $100 trillion bill, not as a joke, as real currency. It bought 3 eggs, maybe. Their money became wallpaper. Literally, people wallpapered their houses with it because it was cheaper than actual wallpaper. That's the endgame. Your money becomes worthless. Savings evaporate. Lifetimes of work vanish overnight. So why don't all countries end up like Zimbabwe? Because most governments have limits, independent central banks, rules about how much they can print, systems that create friction. But the temptation is always there. COVID hit, governments everywhere printed trillions, stimulus checks, bailouts, emergency funding. And now we're living with the consequences. Your coffee costs more, your rent costs more, everything costs more. That's not random. That's the bill from printing money 2 years ago. Now let's compare two countries facing the same crisis. Country A prints money. Fast, easy, popular. Everyone gets cash. People feel good. Politicians look like heroes. Country B borrows money and cuts spending. Painful, slow, unpopular. People feel the squeeze immediately. Country A kicks the problem down the road. Country B deals with it now. Guess which one most governments pick? Printing money is like a credit card you never have to pay back, except you do pay it back, just not in dollars. You pay in purchasing power, in the slow erosion of everything you've saved. And the people who print the money, they're not the ones who suffer. They spend it first when it's still worth something. By the time it reaches you, it's already worth less. This is called the Cantillon effect. The people closest to the money printer benefit, everyone else gets poorer. The contractor who got that first $100 bill, he spent it before prices adjusted. He got the full value. But by the time that money cycled through the economy 10 times, prices have already risen. The person at the end of the chain gets screwed. It's a game of musical chairs, and regular people always lose. So here's the brutal truth. Wealth isn't paper. Wealth is stuff, food, shelter, energy, labor, real things you can use. Money is just the language we use to trade those things. If you flood the system with more words but no more things, the words lose meaning. You can't print prosperity. You can only print inflation. Every time a government tries to cheat the system, ordinary people pay the price. Their savings shrink, their wages buy less, their future gets stolen in tiny increments. And the cruelest part? It's designed to be invisible. You don't see the government reaching into your wallet. You just notice bread costs more, gas costs more, everything costs more. And that's not random. That's the bill from printing money 2 years ago.